Yeah. Ay. Yeah. Ay. Yeah. Boys. Yeah. Holla. We them boys. Holla. We them boys. Holla. We making noise. Holla.
All right, now we checking in at Susquehanna Center in the Boys of Summer tour. My man DJ Drama.
What's up, man?
Thank you. So it's your first tour at the Stop. How was it?
It was good. You know, I mean, I went out with Wiz last year. We was on the previous tour, and you know, we did like a good month. So it was a wild one. You know, it was myself, it was Jeezy, it was Ty Dolla, Rich Homie Quan, of course Wiz, and you know, this year it's even. I'm not gonna say it's bigger, but it's you know, a group like Fall Out Boy, it's you know, astronomical when it comes to what they bring to the table, and myself and Wiz again and Live Nation. So you know, it's a blessing to have come from, you know, rocking high school parties to, you know, touching 20,000 people.
Okay. What initially got you started in DJing?
Initially, honestly, man, when I was a kid, I was really into skateboarding, but I wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And all my friends were better than me.
You gotta give it up.
Well, I didn't necessarily give it up yet, but I went to go see the movie Juice.
All right.
And, you know, Omar Epps' character, GQ, in the movie kind of inspired me. Like, man, that looks hot. Like, you know, that's what I want to do. So I convinced my mom to buy me a turntable and a mixer. So I had one turntable and a mixer. And that's just how I started. I started saving my lunch money and going to buy records. And, you know, making mixtapes in high school, and the rest is history.
What was your first break? Like, when did you find out, like, yeah, like, I'm big time?
That's a hard question, because I've had, you know, you have moments. I mean, honestly, when I was a kid, my goal was to get my name on a flyer. Back when there were still paper flyers, you know, at Broadnani, like, that was my goal, you know. So that's what I felt like at the time was my first big break. But I've had different moments. I mean, I remember, you know, seeing myself on the MTV Awards, you know, with T.I. for the first time, and it's been so many. I mean, honestly, I remember, the crazy part is it was when I got arrested for, you know, mixtapes in 2007, and became a, you know, national news, made it to CNN, and, you know, part of hip hop history. Yeah. That was a time when I realized, like, wow,
I'm big time.
Like, like, you know, that just to, you know, for that experience to happen, and, you know, and to make it past that and still have such a lengthy career. But I just think, you know, when you do what we do, and when you're an entrepreneur, you know, you have various moments when you feel like you've made it, and you feel like I haven't gotten there yet. So for me, I'm still trying to get to the bigger picture.
Okay. So explain, you know, the arrest and stuff. Was that your lowest moment of your life, or?
No, I wouldn't say it was my lowest moment. Probably my lowest moment for a moment, but as soon as I got out, I mean, I spent a day in jail, and as soon as I got out and the press started happening, the attention started happening, and it led into my first major label album, I realized that, you know, it really made me more famous than I ever was, and kind of, you know, set a precedent for, you know, my place in hip hop history. So, you know, you have various moments or low times in your career. Honestly, I was just thinking about this yesterday. If I had to really, I don't know if I would call it a low moment, but I think my biggest regret is that around the time when my career really started taking off, in the early T.I. Jeezy, Lil Wayne days, I had a box of every flyer that I had ever been on, and you know, at the time I started to get into magazines, and you know, as my career was taking off, and I moved out of that crib, and I remember the landlord at the time was like, hey, you left this box with all your flyers on it. And I was like, you could throw it away. And I think back about that, like, man, there was so much history that I threw away, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went to go see Common on the set of Barbershop the other day, and I realized that, you know, Common was one of the first people that I actually one of the first major artists I performed with back in like '99, and I remember the actual flyer, and I thought about it like, damn, I wish I could at some point in our later years show it to him or something. So that's probably one of my only really regrets, is not holding on to that part of history, because even deeper than me, even for my family, for my kids, or just who knows, that some of those flyers could wind up in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame one day.
Yeah, exactly. So you stay T.I., Lil Wayne, Jeezy. Who was your favorite artist that you like to work with?
My favorite, I don't know if I could say I have a favorite out of everybody, because they've all meant a lot to my career. I think probably one of my most monumental moments, outside of everyone I worked with, but definitely a major one for me, was when I recorded a record with Outkast on my first album. Andre 3000 being one of my favorites, and just they're part of the reason for me that I moved to Atlanta. Just as far as taking a trip down south with my father and listening to that album, and to actually be able to record a record with Outkast, and to get an amazing 3000 verse was a highlight for me. Okay.
What was your biggest purchase that you ever bought?
My biggest purchase that I ever bought probably would be my studio right now, Main Street Studio. I'll probably put more money into that than anything else thus far. Okay.
One of my other companies is called We Need Our Fathers. I basically help children and fathers reestablish relationships. How important is being a father to you?
It's everything. I mean, it's a foundation. It's a reason for me to do what I do. It's a responsibility. It's an obligation, and it's an enjoyment. And it's a fulfillment. So just to be able to spend that time, or to feel proud of my children's accomplishments, and watching them grow, and having those moments with them, and turning into little people and little grown people. I mean, it's no other experience like it.
Yeah. Are they your biggest motivation?
Yeah, they are definitely my biggest motivation. In a lot of ways, because you always want to make them proud. You always want to be able to give them the world. Every parent loves and wishes that they could work, so their children never have to worry about anything. And then, it's like, in itself, it's just like, it's a learning experience. Because you think back when you have kids, you think back about how you're raising them, and you realize at the time when you were younger, you thought your parents knew it all and they were superheroes. And as our children, as mine, look at me now, and sometimes you realize I'm learning this as I go. A lot of it, and it's a lot of trial and error in a lot of ways, and your parents in the same way went through that. So just with that in itself, it's that makes them my biggest influences, because you live day in, day out for them.
Okay. Being on tour, is it hard being the best father you can be, or what tricks do you do to become the best father you can be while on tour?
Well, clearly being gone, there's no making up for that, because it's time missed, and no child likes to be away from their parents for that long, and it's hard for us as parents, and I guess it's just it's setting them up for a summer to where they have a lot to do. I make sure that that they stay in camps, and they stay in activities, and they stay busy. And last year I wished and wanted that they probably would be able to come to the tour, and that tour wasn't necessarily as made for kids, but I'm hoping and wishing and watching how this one goes, that they'll be able to spend a day or two out here, and come out and hang out with daddy, and get the perks of their father being who he is.
That's dope. So you two are an interviewer. You have your own radio show.
You're pretty good, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So who's your favorite person interviewing?
My favorite person to interview? Who's my favorite person to interview? T.I. is always a good intellectual interviewer. It's interesting because I like to interview other interviewers. I love doing interviews with people like Sway and Angie Martinez, or Angela Yee, or just anybody that is just a talkative person, and you just can, when the conversation flows and it's not even, it just feels like everyday conversations. To me, those are the best type of interviews. So I've done so many time in and time out that, you know, again, it's like asking me who my favorite artist is.
Yeah. When you were interviewing Dame Dash, did you think he was going to snap on you like he did on Breakfast Club?
No, I wasn't worried about that. You know, that was actually my first time really meeting Dame. So for me, you know, I prepared myself, and, you know, I've watched the interviews. So
yeah,
if you look at the interview, I went in and I asked him, you know, what bothers you the most about being asked about Jay-Z? Because, you know, Dame Dash is somebody, like, part of Dame Dash's history is Jay-Z, but as his own man and as his own entity, you know, you can see why at times he, you know, he would get probably tired of the question. So,
exactly.
you know, I just approached it from a different angle, you know, after seeing various interviews and everything. But Dame is a great guy. You know, we had a great interview.
All right. So you were on tour for 43 dates. Is there any rules to the tour bus?
Yeah, you can't get on the bus.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the main rule.
That's the main one
of the bus. Excuse my language. And then, you know, just everyone hold themselves accountable. You know, we're all a team, we're all family, we're all here to, you know, do what we do best. And, you know, but it's, you know, we're also blessed to have jobs that people would, you know, would love to have. So you got to enjoy it. It's, you know, it's like, to me, it's like playing in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? To be able to be in the finals, and, you know, it's a lot of pressure, and it's, you know, it's a lot of professionalism, but at the same time, I mean, like, who doesn't want to do what we do?
So what's next for you? You got Little Uzi?
Yeah, Uzi's next for me. I just dropped the tape with my man Scheme. Been working with these two guys from Decatur named Wedding Crashers. Working on my new album, Quality Street Music Volume 2, and just, you know, just heating everything up.
If you could tell kids or anybody one tip that you learned from your regrets or something, what would you tell them?
That, you know, you learn from your mistakes, you know, and everything happens for a reason. You know, so, and some of those reasons sometimes is because you did some shit, but you know what I'm saying, but you can learn from that, and, you know, you can make better decisions going forward and going into the future. And, you know, if you can dream it, if you can imagine it, you can do it. You know, I started Gangsta Grills from a couch in a, you know, a duplex that my man, me and Sense used to live in when I couldn't even afford to pay my gas bill at times. And, you know, I had I was taking cold showers all summer. So, you know, and now look at me. So, and it's hard work, it's dedication, it's consistency. So, you know, it's just about, you know, staying strong to your values and staying strong to your goals.
Well, I appreciate you for letting me interview you.
Most definitely, absolutely. Oh, man.